Good morning, beautiful people. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon. I just am here, the creator and writer of the Honestly Swiss newsletter, a bi-weekly newsletter given to us millennials who are truly trying to get their shit together. And I am here for another daily motivational video where we use the tarot to become the alchemists of our lives and teach us how to become spiritual beings. A little bit about me. If you're interested in working with me, all of that information is down in the description box below. There are always additional there's always angel messages and additional guidance in the description box below. So please make sure that you check it out. And if there's anything that you feel or you like in the middle of reading this video, please give me a like or a thumbs up because it really helps more people find the channel. Okay? All right, let's go ahead and get into it. Angel number 44. I hope that your week has been off to a good start. Mine has been amazing. I hope yours has been amazing else. Let's go ahead and get into it. See what we need to deal with today. What do we need to focus on today? One more card. Beautiful. I love that. Right away, I love it. Right away, the message that came out is sisterhood and brotherhood. Angel number 108, along with clarity. For some reason, I'm getting this energy that this message is about clarifying the type of communities that we want to have. What type of people do we want to be around? And being clear on that. I feel like the reason why this message is coming up is because I think last week I was speaking to you guys about being very, very picky about your energy and the type of people that you hang around. And so with this message of sisterhood and brotherhood, I feel like what God is saying is that your friends, the people that you spend a lot of time around, those people that are your sisters or your brother that are like sisters and brothers, like they also like affect your energy, they affect your like vibrational field. And so if you feel like you're in or you have been in the type of relationships where, you know, it was kind of one-sided, people weren't necessarily always valuing you, God said it's time for you to ask yourself, like, are these the type of people I want to be around? Yes or no? And if these aren't the type of people you want to be around, I'm not saying like cut them off right away, but I do think you have to be mindful. I know in my journey, one thing that I really had to like confront was that I was working so hard in my day-to-day life. I was working so hard with Honestly Sis and with these channels, with these videos on YouTube. And then, you know, I'm doing all this work. I'm going to therapy. I'm getting energy work. Like I'm doing so much work to heal myself and to make myself feel better, to feel more confident within myself. And then I would go and I would be in situations or say for example, I was still like messing with my ex and like it just didn't feel good. And I was just like, damn, like I'm like working so hard and this person just don't see me. He just don't value me. And the same thing like for my dad and them, like for my dad, like I've been doing so much work on myself. I've been trying to accomplish so much. Like I just really, I mean, honestly, since school, I have always been just the type of girl that has extracurricular activities. Like I just always been about my community. And like, I've never, you know, like I hate to keep bringing it up, but it's like my dad, like they don't appreciate that. They don't see that, like he doesn't value those type of things. And like, it hurts my feelings. And it's like, I'm doing all of this work to be a better person, to be good, and then just to be around people that treat me like shit. Like it just, the disconnect. And I just, in my soul, angel number 347, I'm like, I can't keep dealing with that. Like I can't keep working so hard to be so good to myself and treat myself good just to go in environments with people who knock me down and treat me like shit. And then I'm feeling bad for 2 or 3 days. Like I don't have time for that. I'm working way too hard to better myself. And so now that I have this clarity, I have this mindset of like, I only want to be around people that make me feel good. I only want to be around people who support me, who love me, and who want the best for me. And now all of my decisions are based around that. Also with this clarity, like I feel like, I was reading, I did bring out my conversation with God book. So I'll make sure that we will, you know, we'll pull from there on the end. But I was reading Conversations with God, and he was saying that, you know, a lot of people they're confused because they're asking themselves like, well, what should I do? Who should I hang around? And it's like, well, you can't ask that question until you know where you're headed, until you know who you're trying to become. And once you have clarity about who you want to become and what you want to do, then you have to make conscious decisions and make sure that your actions, your alignment, your energy, your environment are all in support of where you're going. Because if not, it's like I'm saying, you're working hard and you're just pushing yourself back down. Okay, does that make sense? All right, I don't want to confuse you, so we're going to go ahead and get into the cards and get some more information. Dear God, guardian angels, and ancestors, give her this message of sisterhood, brotherhood, clarity. Why is it so important for us to have clarity about the type of people we want to be around, about the type of communities that we want to build, and just about ourselves in general? Please, God, deliver these messages to me and through me, allow no room or doubt or confusion in me or the viewer's mind. I forgot to do a prayer. Oh, well. Gotta make sure I do on my next one. All right. Okay, beautiful. All right, I'm just gonna put this up right because I feel like that's supposed to come up all right. Okay. For sisterhood and brotherhood, what came out is the Three of Swords. I mean, does this make sense, right? Sisterhood, brotherhood, Three of Swords. What this means to me is that in the past, and honestly, right now, I feel like you just have a lot of wounding when it comes around friendship, when it comes around friend groups, when it comes around building community. Like I was saying before, I get that energy that, you know, you have been in lopsided relationships where you were giving a lot, or you were, you know, giving a lot into, you know, certain friendships in certain relationships, and they weren't giving it back to you. And so now you just have like kind of just, you're sensitive, you know, and kind of you really, I think, the idea of sisterhood and brotherhood actually leaves a bad taste in your mouth. But what God is trying to say is that it's not for the whole purpose of you going through that journey with your community, with your ex-friends, with your ex-job, whatever it is, like whatever this sisterhood and brotherhood means, I want you to make it personalized. Like if something, as soon as I said that, or as soon as you saw the card, like an idea or a group or a person flashed in your mind, apply the rest of this message to that. Because that's how your intuition works. I really want my goal of this channel, and why I do certain, I talk about concepts in daily life and really trying to become the alchemist of our life, is because I want us to understand that we're spiritual beings and that we have power to control our life. We have the power to co-create with the universe. And so what God is trying to get us to understand about this sisterhood and brotherhood, about all the stuff that you've been through when it comes to, you know, past relationships / community. I think for me, I keep saying community endeavors. When I say that, I mean like organizations that you may have been involved with. I was involved with a mentoring program for about 10 years. And that did not end well. It did not end well. And actually, you know what? I do have a story to tell about this. I have been realizing a lot. Thank you, God. I have been realizing a lot that every time I get involved in like an organization, so say for example, my old mentoring organization, the old yoga studio that I got my certification at, this current yoga studio, it's like every time I go behind the curtain of some shit, I realize that it's really not what it seems. I realized that this sisterhood and brotherhood, this sense of community that I thought that I was a part of, is really manufactured. And it really is some like ill intentions behind it. I'm not going to say evil people, but ill intentions behind it. And so, yes, this kind of left a bad taste in my mouth, because I'm like, damn, like every time I find myself, like I love a certain organization, or I'm like giving myself to an organization, or giving myself to a yoga studio. And then it's like, you get behind the curtain and you see the day, like you get close to that organization. So say say when I'm saying this, I mean like, say for example, I went from being just a mentor in the organization that I was in to being a leader of the organization. So which means now I'm getting closer to the founders. I'm getting closer to seeing the day-to-day activities. I'm getting closer to see what really is going on. And every time that happens, my feelings hurt. Same thing happened with the yoga studio. At first, I was just a student at the yoga studio. So remember, it's not that big of a deal. I go every lunch break. I go, I come back home. It's no big of a deal. I mean, I go back to work. It's no big a deal. But then I spend time, I go do this yoga teacher training. I get to learn more about the owner of that yoga studio. And again, the heartbreak, it's not what it seems. So I keep finding myself in these situations, and I could be like, fuck group activities, fuck trying to build community, fuck all of this. Like, people are frauds. Or I could look at it and be like, you know what? I don't ever want that to happen to me. I don't ever want people to, you know, relate to me and connect to me and get to know Honestly Sis, or, you know, get to know whatever, you know, get to know this YouTube channel and you really bond with it. And then like say I do an event and you meet me in person and I leave a bad taste in your mouth. That I don't ever want that to happen. I don't ever want, you know, somebody to, you know, again, be subscribed to the Honestly Sis newsletters and, you know, they connect with it and then I meet them and, or they meet me and I leave a bad taste in their mouth because I'm not who I'm presenting to be. And I think that's what happens when people front and people pretend to be a certain thing. When you get close up, you realize that it's really not what it seems, right? And so to clarify this, because I feel like I've been saying a lot, I feel like what God is saying is he wants you to look at your past, you know, bad relationships, bad friendships, bad, you know, even collaborations and all of that stuff. And like, instead of dealing with the heartbreak of it, get the clarity, like see the other side of it. Like I was telling you before, these situations taught me that it's very important for me to be honest. It's very important for me that people know that what you see is what you get. So the Amber that you see right now is the same Amber that you're gonna see if you bump into me on the streets in Detroit. Like I don't operate like that. And and I think I don't like Agent of 1125. I don't like people who put on fronts and seem a certain way, but they're not that way deep down inside. And so what God is just trying to say is that all of these bad things that happened to us in our past, all of these heartbreaks, all of this stuff that went wrong, it really was to give us clarity about what we really want so that we can be able to steer our direction in a way that be able to steer our life in the way that we want it to go. I'm going to our blockages because as I was saying that, I was thinking about this card in the blockages, and it was saying, once you learn how to control your emotions, as we know, the King of Cups, he is the king of his emotions. We literally see he's on a throne with the yellow and red. Yellow represents your solar plex, which means he's standing in his power. Red means that he's grounded in who he is, and he's sitting on he's sitting on a throne in a sea of order. So which means no matter which way that his emotions go, he is able to, you know, dictate it and dictate it and like steal his focus. Like he knows exactly where he's going. And there's a card. There's a card in this deck here that says, there's a card in this deck, and I want to say it talks about for the sacral chakra, it says that you need to learn how to steer your emotions as though you were steering the high seas or something like that. Like this is what God is trying to get you to understand. Heartbreak, disappointments, all of this stuff comes up for you to get clarity on who you are and who you want to be. It's not for you to get stuck in a heartbreak. It's not for you to close yourself off. It's not for you to block your heart. It's only for you to get clarity about what you really, really want deep down on the inside. Thank you, God. Wow, I finally got it. Agent of 1315. It took me long enough, but I finally got it. Underneath all of this is the beautiful two of Pentacles. What do you see? Juggling. We also still have that water back here. So again, going with that theme of learning how to steer our emotions, like a high, really learning how to steer our emotions. And so what God is saying is that now you're at this point where you need to make a choice. You've had a whole bunch of stuff go wrong. You've had a lot of disappointments, maybe with friendships, maybe with, maybe even this could even be relationships. Like maybe you thought that you were going to have kids with this person and it didn't go right. Whatever it is, what God is saying is that now you're at this point where you need to make a decision on, are you going to allow these failed relationships, these things that hurt your feelings, broke your heart, are you going to allow that to dictate your worth? Because we have this Two of Pentacles here, right? I've never looked at this card before this way. As number 1411. The Two of Pentacles the Pentacles is literally dealing with tangible manifestations, and we see that he's literally going back and forth. We literally see a ship here going on water. Matter of fact, that'll be my next reading. I'm not gonna, because I'm trying to keep these a little bit shorter. But anyways, so we see here, bam, bam, right? Two of Pentacles, it's a ship on rocky water. And so this is what God is saying. You have a lot of emotions. You have a lot of things that happened that got you mad. Your heart has been broken before. But God is like, what are you going to do about it? Are you going to keep allowing everybody to, shit on you? Or are you going to use that clarity and be like, no, I'm not going to allow that to happen anymore. I'm not going to be in those type of environments anymore. I'm only going to be around people who support me and who love me. When I was saying that, I was thinking about, damn, I just lost it. I hate that. I hate that. I really, really hate that. We're going to go and start getting into the vortex. Damn. I just had, as I was saying that to y'all, I had something was in my mind, but I just lost it. Yeah, whatever. I'm going to let it go. But yeah, everything, all of these situations, essentially this message is coming up because God is asking you, who are you going to be? You have to make a decision on who you want to be and then move in the direction of those things with clarity. He's telling you not to use the heartbreak from your past, from the failed, partnerships, opportunities, whatever it is. Don't allow that to dictate your future and who you think you are. I also feel like for some of you guys, like you're a little bit like me and you've had like some organizations and, just some endeavors like fall through and it may have left a bad taste in your mouth and you may be like, you know what? I don't think this may be the life for me. Well, God is saying that's not the point of it. The point was for you not to question yourself, but for you to get more clear on who you are and actually what you want. Okay, I'm done talking. God, clarify this message of sisterhood, brotherhood, clarity, Three of Swords, the King of Pentacles. Oh, sorry. Excuse me. Let me stop. Let me slow down. I really wish I would have remembered what I was about to say. I think I'm mad I can't remember what I was about to say because it was something. It had to be good, but I'm going to leave it there. The only reason why I'm not going into the chakra deck is because I really want to make these readings like under 25 minutes. And so I'm just going to get a tool to clarify this and then wrap it on up by going to our conversation with God. And then the next reading, so make sure you're subscribed so that you can keep going on. If you do feel like you have a blockages when it comes, we're going to do a blockage reading next to see, what's blocking us from, meeting up with those divine communities, divine partnerships, and divine people that we want to have in our life. We're going to see what this blockage is that's blocking our heart. We're going to dig deeper into this Three of Swords energy, okay? Okay, sisterhood and brotherhood, clarity, Three of Swords along with the King of Cups and the Two of Pentacles. God, why is it so important for us to have clarity about who we are and what we want in our life? What are you trying to get us to understand about this message of sisterhood and brotherhood? And clarity, allow no room for God or confusion in me or the viewer's mind. Okay. Okay, beautiful. I love, oh my God, this can't even, it is so straightforward. We got this card before. Why do I want the relationship I want? Again, with the Three of Pentacles, the Three of Swords. Remember, I was telling you that all of this stuff was happening just because God, it wasn't happening for you to close off your heart or for you, the world saying that you're a shitty person. All of these disappointments was just to get you clear on what relationships you want and why do you want them. Angel number 827. Think about what you want in a relationship and why you want it. Look for those who are experiencing good relationships and feel appreciation for them. Make a list of the positive aspects of those good feeling relationships you have spent time with. In fact, one of the fastest ways to make your way to a wonderful relationship is to find any subject that consistently feel good, even if it has nothing to do with relationships, and focus on that. So again, God is asking you not to focus on the heartbreak, not to focus on what the things that went wrong, but instead try your best to like look at, what those situations taught you. Like I realized that, for me, like say for example, I want to keep beating up on my own organization, but like for the yoga studio, like what really left a bad taste in my mouth is that I didn't like how, so first this is what really messed me up about my old yoga studio. So before it was this girl, she had her, I was super close with the owner of this yoga studio. She had one downtown. She had one in Ferndale. Like everything was good. It was amazing. Like this is where I fell in love with yoga and everything. Like I honestly believe in the style and how she do yoga. Like I do incorporate that into my intuitive flows. But I didn't like that when her brother got here, and what I learned is like her brother, like she really started this based off of her brother. Her brother had the studio in California. And so, you know, like it's like that. And so we meet her brother, and I guess like her brother is supposed to be a big guy. And like, he just, to me, like I was like, oh my Natasha Leone, like I had, you know, poker face. Like it's just, my bullshit reader was just like bullshit. Everything he was saying was just bullshit to me. And like, he was just so fucking condescending. And like, he also, I didn't like how they were trying to make it seem like you needed him. Like, okay, you're not going to get this. There's no way you're possibly going to understand all of this in this class. So you're going to have to take it 2 or 3 times. And like, will proudly say, oh, this is this person's 5th, you know, teacher training. And this is this person. And it's just like, to me, it felt like they were setting it up to get people dependent on them. To where it's like, oh, you can't possibly heal without going to us, or like making this your daily life. And I don't like shit like that. Like that shit turned me off, because bitch, nobody can no, I am the fucking master of my life. I don't need no goddamn body. I can figure it out on my own. And I just don't, like, I know this girl who, and I love it, she's a Black hypnotherapist, but again, she has that same energy of you need me. And whenever you have somebody like that and they start with that energy of you need me, or you can't possibly do this, or you not gonna go, like, don't even do that. Should be a red flag. Because it's like, I don't fucking need you. And any true spiritual teacher knows that it's not, you don't need, any true spiritual teacher knows that if anybody resonate with anything that you say, it's not because you're so amazing and so smart. It's because that person already knew that knowledge within themselves, and you just reminded them of it. A true teacher knows that they're not really a teacher at all. They're just a student. All they are is just a vessel. All they are is just reminding somebody of what they had inside. It's not, the power does not come from the teacher. The power actually comes there. And a true teacher knows how to empower their empower their students to where you don't need the fucking teacher. And so those situations taught me that. It just taught me, like, it's so, at first it was like, made me feel like I'm too sensitive for this type of world. But then it's also made me realize, like, maybe the world needs me. Like, it's not a lot of good-hearted people. There's really not people who are out here doing this type of work from the kindness of their heart. A lot of these people, spiritual or not, a lot of these people are doing this shit from an ego place. A lot of these people are doing this because they want you to give their power. They want to build themselves up. And that's just not, I'm not in it for that. I want you to, I don't even want you, you shouldn't even be watching this channel for 2 and 3 years. You get the information you need and you move on. That's why I'm not even going to be doing this for 2 to 3 years. And so I just, it says, why do I want the relationship I want? But why do you want anything that you want? Like, what type of experiences do you want to have? And I realized that made me realize I don't want to be that type of person. The thing about my organization, the old organization, I realized that, like, I thought everything was just out the kindness of everybody's heart, but I realized it was favoritism. I realized that certain people only wanted to be mentored with certain kids that looked a certain type of way. And like, shit like that was just like, what the fuck? Like, we're here to help these kids. Who give a fuck if she cute or not? You know, like, why are you even looking like, you know? So I just realized, like, everything that says that they're doing something for a good intention, that's not true. It's not real. And it's not to make you feel like you can't trust the world, but it's honestly to actually make you realize why you're so important and why the world needs you. Let me stop talking. My relationships are supposed to feel good. This is essentially what God wants us to know. Your relationships are supposed to feel good to you. Before your birth, you knew that the primary component of your physical experience that will offer the greatest value for your personal and collective expansion and joy would be relationships that you would experience with each other. It was your plan to relish the diversity of your relationship and to It was your plan to relish the diversity of your relationships and to choose from them the details that will make up your creations here and now. And last thing, the billions of us are living in diversity. So again, what God is just trying to get you to understand is that everybody was made perfectly the way they are. The fucked up people were made the way they perfectly made fucked up. You were made perfectly whatever you are. Like, everybody was made the way they are. And it's the way that people were created Like even the evil people, they were created to have clarity to the good people. You know, like everything is really ultimately happening for your good and happening for you to get to your end goal. So what God is saying is that if you've experienced a lot of heartbreak in your sisterhood and your brotherhood or in your relationships, then it's time for you to, instead of closing out your heart, instead of you just juggling back and forth thinking that these are the only type of relationships that you're going to get to experience, God is saying have a sense of clarity. Take the good things. Remember that your relationships are supposed to feel good, and when you do that and you focus on what you do want, God will he will rotate those toxic people out your life and bring in people that are similar to you. Okay, all right, y'all, I'm gonna end this message, angel number 2535, with our conversations with God. All right, God, clarify this message of sisterhood, brotherhood, clarity. 3 of Pentacles, the King of Cups, 2 of Pentacles, 3 of Swords. Sorry, 3. I don't know why I keep wanting to say 3 of Pentacles. Maybe somebody got a mentor coming in. 3 of Swords, King of Cups, 2 of Pentacles. What do you want us to focus on? What is this message of sisterhood and brotherhood? Why is it so important for us to have clarity that relationships are supposed to feel good? What do you want us to know? Okay. All right. So I'm opening right up. What's wrong with that? You said yourself that sometimes war is necessary to end evil. We're going to elaborate on that because I can see that your statement being used and misused, just as you're doing now, to try to make all sorts of points or rationale, all sorts of insanity. By the highest standards I have observed humans devise, killing can never be justified as a means of expressing anger, releasing hostility, righting a wrong, or punishing an offender. The statement that war is sometimes necessary to end evil stands true, for you have made it so. You have determined in the creation of self that respect for all human life is and must be a high prime value. I am pleased with your decision because I did not create life that it may be destroyed. It is respect for life which sometimes make war necessary, for it is through war against, it is respect for life which sometimes makes war necessary, for it is through war against immediate impending evil, it is through defense against immediate threat to another life that you make a statement of who you are in relationship to that. You have a right under the highest moral law. Indeed, you have an obligation under that law to stop aggressions on the person of another or yourself. This does not mean that killing as a punishment is appropriate, or nor as retribution, nor as a means of settling petty differences. In your past, you have killed in personal duels over the affection of a woman, for heaven's sakes, and call this protecting your honor, when it was all honor you were losing. It is absurd to use deadly force as an argument solver. Many humans are still using force, killing force, to solve ridiculous arguments even today. Reaching to the heights of hypocrisy, some humans even kill in the name of God, and that is the highest blasphemy, for it does not speak of who you are. Oh, and then there is something wrong with killing. Let's back up. All right, this is the last. I'm going to read just a little bit. Let's back up. There's nothing wrong with anything. Wrong is a relative term indicating the opposite of what you call right. Yet, what is right? Can you be truly objective in these matters, or right and wrong simply descriptions overlaid on events and circumstances by you out of your decision about them? And what, pray tell, forms the basis of your decisions? Your own experience? No. In most cases, you've chosen to accept someone else's decision, someone who came before you and presumably knows better. Very few of your daily decisions about what is right and wrong are being made by you, based on your understanding. This is essentially true on important matters. In fact, the more important of the matter, the less likely you are to listen to your own experience, and the more ready you seem to be to make someone else's ideas your own. This explains why you've given up virtually total control over certain areas of your life and certain questions that arise within human experience. These areas and questions very often include the subjects most vital to your soul: the nature of God, the nature of true morality, and the question of ultimate reality. The issue of life and death surrounding war, medicine, abortion, enthusiasm, the whole sum and substance of personal values, structures, and judgment. These most of you have arbitrarily assigned to others. You don't want to make your own decisions about them. Someone else decided, I'll go along, you shout. Someone else just tell me what's right and wrong. This is why, by the way, human religions are so popular. It doesn't matter what the belief is, as long as it is firm, consistent, clear in its expectation of the follower, and rigid. Given those characteristics, you can find people who believe in almost anything. The strangest behavior and belief can be and has been attributed to God. It's God's way, they say, God's word. And there are those who will gladly accept it because, you see, it eliminates the need to think. Angel number 3103. I'm going to leave the message right there. If you heard, this message was all about God just saying that it's time for you to decide what is right and wrong in your life so that you can make decisions for yourself that is good for yourself. Just because you've been around these people your whole life don't mean that you got to keep being around them. All of your relationships should feel good. Your relationship with your mother, your relationship with your father, your relationship with your brother, your relationship with your sister. Nobody, especially not your blood relatives, has permission to abuse you or make you feel like shit just because they birthed you. That's not okay. That's not of God. And so what God is saying, before I started talking about that war and what it may seem like, really going to war, but I feel like sometimes even us like turning against our parents, we feel like that's some type of signal of war. And that's really not the case. And you know what? I'm not going to say it's not the case. Sometimes you have to do that. Sometimes you have to go to war with your own parents to actually recognize who you really are. This is your life. And if they're not contributing to it or making you happy or making you feel good about it, why keep allowing them to just purposely stab you in the heart, purposely fuck you over? It's not okay. And so this is what God is saying. Religion, our parents, society, they're all trying to get us to having this one right way of thing. You got to obey your parents. You got to respect your parents. You got to respect your parents. And get you to forget to stop thinking about what you really feel on the fucking inside. This is your life. And it's time for you to decide. All right, y'all. I am done. Angel number 3245. If you made it to the end of this message, please give me a thumbs up. If you made it to the end of this message, you are not subscribed. What are you waiting for? Until we meet again, dream those dreams. Never let the internet rush you. And never, ever, ever let someone tell you what you cannot do. I will talk to you soon. Bye-bye. I hate when that happens. Bye.